Hey there, and welcome. We're jumping right into Lesson 7, and today we're going to tackle a concept that honestly can completely change the game for your team. We're talking about how they handle challenges, how they innovate, and really what they believe their potential is. It's all about fostering a growth mindset.
All right, so here we are in our course, Lead with Grounded Confidence. And the whole point of this course is to give you real practical skills you can use. This lesson, it's absolutely crucial. Why? Because the mindset we're about to break down is literally the foundation for building those amazing, high-performing, and super resilient teams we all want. So let's dive in.
Okay, so here's what we've got on tap today. First, we'll cover the what, like what even is a growth mindset. Then we'll get into the why. And trust me, the benefits for your team are huge. After that, it's all about the how. I've got 9 solid strategies for you. We'll also talk about some of the real-world challenges you might face, and then, of course, we'll wrap up with what you can do next. Sound good?
All right, let's start at the very beginning. What in the world are we actually talking about when we say growth mindset? Let's unpack that core concept.
So, this whole idea comes from the amazing work of psychologist Carol Dweck, and believe me, it is a total game changer. At its heart, a growth mindset is really simple. It's the belief that your abilities, your intelligence, they aren't just fixed things you're stuck with from birth. Nope, they can be developed. How? Through dedication, through hard work, and, this is the key part, by using the right strategies and actually learning from what you do.
Okay, now look at this, because this comparison really hits it home. On the one side, we have the growth mindset. On the other, it's polar opposite, the fixed mindset. A fixed mindset says you've either got it or you don't. The difference is just, wow, look at this. With a growth mindset, a challenge is an opportunity to get better. With a fixed one, it's a threat. Effort is seen as the road to getting great versus a sign that you're just not smart enough. And feedback, it's either super useful information or it's a personal attack. I mean, as a leader, just ask yourself, which one of these columns do you want your team living in?
So what does this actually look like in a team? Well, when a team really embraces this, you start to see some amazing things. They put learning first, way ahead of just getting the result, because they know that's how you win in the long run. They actually look for challenges instead of running from them. When they hit a wall, they just keep going. They see feedback as a gift, not an insult. And maybe my favorite part, they become truly collaborative, not competitive with each other. They're all in it together.
Okay, so this all sounds nice, right? But what's the real payoff? What are the actual tangible benefits for you as a leader and for your team? Let's get into why this really matters.
First up, and this one is a big one, your team's innovation just goes through the roof. Seriously, and here's why. A growth mindset builds something called psychological safety. It's this feeling that it's okay to fail. When your team isn't terrified that one mistake is going to define them, they're suddenly willing to take smart risks. That safety, it's like the perfect soil for creativity to grow in. People start sharing those crazy-sounding ideas that, often turn into the biggest breakthrough.
Benefit number 2 is a huge increase in resilience. A team with this mindset just doesn't get knocked over by a setback. They don't see failure as the end of the road. To them, it's just data. Their immediate reaction is, okay, that didn't work. What did we learn? And that simple shift means they can adapt, handle change, and come back from pretty much anything, often even stronger.
And third, you're going to see engagement go way up. Think about it. When people feel like their hard work actually matters and that they have a real shot at learning and growing, their motivation just naturally skyrockets. They start to care more about the team's goals because they feel like the team actually cares about their growth. It's a two-way street.
And all of this leads us to benefit number 4, which is really the bottom line: better performance. It's like this amazing upward spiral. You get more innovation, which makes the team more resilient. That resilience and sense of purpose boosts engagement. And what happens when you have an engaged, resilient, innovative team? They just do better work. Period. This whole cycle leads directly to hitting your goals and creating amazing results.
Okay, so hopefully by now you're thinking, all right, I'm in. This sounds great. But the big question is, how? How do you actually do this? Well, that's what we're talking about next. Let's get super practical with 9 strategies you can start using right away. The first bunch of strategies, they all start with you. It has to. First, you've got to walk the talk. Share your own struggles and what you're learning. Telling your team about a time you messed up and what you took away from it, that's pure gold. Second, change what you celebrate. Instead of only praising the final win, make a huge deal about the effort, the clever strategies, and the progress along the way. Third, make it safe for people to speak up. And finally, set learning goals right alongside performance goals. So it's not just about hitting the sales number, it's about mastering a new way to connect with customers.
Now, beyond what you do personally, you have to actually build an environment where this can thrive. This means encouraging people to experiment, to try things, and making it okay if it doesn't work out. It also means investing in your people's growth. Provide them with real learning opportunities, whether that's in-house training or pointing them to fantastic online resources for business and tech courses, like beventured.com's Academy. You can also set up peer mentoring so they learn from each other. Build in time to reflect, like after a big project. And a huge one, really make sure you're tapping into all the different ideas and perspectives on your team. That's where the magic happens.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Making this kind of change isn't always easy. It's not like you flip a switch and everyone's on board. So let's talk about some of the challenges you're likely to run into.
So here's the classic one. You've been talking about this, you're all excited, but then a deadline looms, the pressure is on, and suddenly you see people slipping right back into those old fixed mindset habits. What do you do?
All right, the answer here is two things: patience and persistence. First, you have to accept that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a gradual shift. So you have to celebrate the small wins. Every single time someone asks for tough feedback or raises their hand for a difficult project, you need to call that out and praise it. You as the leader have to be a broken record with this message, in a good way. When you do see that fixed mindset talk, address it, but do it constructively, maybe in a one-on-one. And just always remember, you're not just changing a process, you are shifting an entire team culture, and that takes time.
So, we've talked about what a growth mindset is, why it's so incredibly important, and how you can start to build it. Now let's pull it all together and focus on what you can do, like tomorrow. I really want this quote to stick with you. Leaders who promote learning create environments where creativity thrives. That just says it all, doesn't it? Your job at the end of the day isn't just about managing a to-do list. It's about being the architect of a place where learning is just what you do. And when you do that, creativity and innovation can't help but follow.
So if there's one thing you take away from this whole lesson, let it be this. Building a growth mindset is not a project. You can't just check it off your list. It's an active, ongoing, everyday process. But the reward for that effort, it's huge. It will literally transform your team's ability to innovate, to be resilient, and to perform at their absolute best.
And listen, your journey to becoming a leader with grounded confidence is just getting started. I really hope you'll continue with me in our next lesson. We're moving on to Lesson 8, and we'll be diving deep into another essential skill: cultivating emotional intelligence as a leader.
And hey, to make sure all of this really sinks in, don't forget to check out the extra materials we've put together. There are quizzes to test yourself, detailed notes, and a really cool infographic that sums everything up. Just click the link in the description or head straight to beventured.com to find it all. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you in the next lesson.